Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today we are enjoying the beautiful sights and sounds of Key West, Florida. And we want to bring you along with us. So come along and enjoy.
Thanks.
Now, if you've never been to Key West, chickens are
everywhere.
They are the thing. They were running around when we were having lunch. They're just everywhere. But they make great tour guides.
Yes, they do.
There is beautiful buildings, beautiful foliage. These banyan trees there are just amazing. But we're going to start off today at Truman's Little White House. And the Little White House was built in the 1890s as the quarters for Navy officers. And it was actually used by Presidents Taft, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Carter, and Clinton. It was used during the Cuban Missile Crisis. There have been several major meetings of countries that have taken place here over the years.
And it's a lovely walk.
It is, and it includes this nice little park with a fountain. Just a real nice little relaxing oasis as you're walking around Key West. Now next up, this is the Basilica of St. Mary, and this is such a unique little basilica. And the way it's made is so Key West. This is considered to be one of the oldest Catholic churches in the state of Florida, and you'll see those doors open along both sides to let the ventilation through to handle the heat that there is.
Yeah.
Next up is Fort Zachary Taylor State Park, and there's two very cool things here. One is Fort Zachary Taylor, and the other one we'll show you here in just a moment. But Fort Zachary Taylor, construction started on this in 1845, and it was actually 4 stories tall rather than 2, but the 2 upper levels were removed in 1898. It served use in the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, World War I and II, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and it ended its service in 1947 and became a historic state park in 1985. It is a beautiful fort. We've been through quite a few of different makings. This one is brick and coquina in spots. But you can look at these brick walls and just see the history. It's pretty amazing. Now, at its peak, there were 140 cannons that were ready to be fired at any point by the 450 soldiers that were stationed there. You can still see the staircases that go to the top deck, the Coast Guard ship, and the cruise ship there in the distance. But also here at Fort Zachary Taylor State Park is the beach. And those trees are leaning. I can only assume from the hurricane force winds that have come through there.
Yeah. But
beautiful beach, hammocks. I mean, people are using this beach and really enjoying it. And everywhere you look, there's flowers. It's very, very tropical. As we go from there on back towards the downtown, we go past the cruise ship docks. It seems like every day of the week there's a different cruise line there.
It's fun seeing the people come and go.
Yeah. Now, this is now the Museum of Art and History, but it was originally the Custom House. And very unique in its style and its color of brick.
And it's beautiful.
It really is. Just in front of that is Clinton Square, which I think is kind of ironic because it's an intersection of 3 roads. It's a triangle, not a square, but and just beyond that is the shops at Mallory Square. Now, this building was originally the Naval Depot and storehouse, and it was also the U.S. Coast Guard headquarters. It's now been turned into a little 2-story shopping area.
And they're quite upscale.
Yes. And Maggie said, but there's got to be something in here for me to see. And guess what? There is.
The first place I've ever seen the white dog
terry cloth bathrobes.
Yeah.
Now, right in this area, you'll also come across the Shipwreck Museum. And just off to the side of the Shipwreck Museum is the Key West Aquarium.
I'm not seeing a lot of people, but this was a very busy place.
It was. Now, this is the Historical Memorial Sculpture Garden, and this is all to pay tribute to the wreckers, the people who came in to find their wealth and fame off of shipwrecks. And at one point in the Keys, there were 200 active shipwrecks, and they were accumulating shipwrecks at a rate of 1 per week.
That's crazy.
So this is all to pay tribute to people that were involved in the shipwrecking business. This goes back to our last trip to the Keys, which was in 2001.
Yeah.
We went to this great little Cuban restaurant, and it was still there. That's something you don't find in 20 years in a lot of places.
And the food was still good.
Yes, definitely. Now, this part that we ate at over here on the side was open air, and yes, there were chickens. You'd see them walking around under the tables every now and then. You'd hear them all the time. Maggie was kind of
vocal.
Yeah, she wasn't real sure what to think of these chickens walking around there. But chickens are protected in the Keys.
Yes, they are.
And they are everywhere. We started off with their Cuban guacamole, which came with plantain chips, really good margarita, Cuban bread, and Cathy had the Key West Cuban sandwich, and I had a sandwich that was made out of the ropa vieja, the beef and tomato, and it was out of this world.
And very generous.
Mm-hmm. Now, next up, Mallory Square. Mallory Square was located right behind that restaurant, and so we walked back there just to see the beautiful sights heading west. Mallory Square is famous for their sunsets. We might even be able to sneak you in one of those here before the video's over.
That's right.
But the Florida Keys Military Memorial is also at the corner of Mallory Square. Now, one of the things that they have on display here that I thought was really interesting is when the USS Maine was sunk in the Havana Harbor, and that's what led to the Spanish-American War. That's actually a gun turret from the USS Maine that was salvaged and put on display here. Now, as we start to walk back in towards town, you'll start to see more of the little characteristic Key West shops. Everything looks old and beachy, and it's just Key West has its own vibe.
It's so fun.
It is. This is a famous spot, mile marker 0. This is where Route 1 starts and ends. This is where you take off on Route 1 to start going north up the coast, and right across the street is the end of that. And the store's right there.
And it looks like it's been there a while.
Yep. Now, that is a kapok tree. And again, these are chickens. But look at all of them.
Oh, Mama was digging through, rooting for grubs for the babies, and they're following right around behind her.
I think we said there were 7 or 8 little chicks there with her. Now, just up the street was the Ernest Hemingway home. We didn't have time for a tour of it, but that's on the list for next time.
Yes.
Right across the street was the Key West Lighthouse. Now, you know, we've been up in quite a few lighthouses, and several of them have been over 200 steps tall. This one is shorter. It's only 88 steps tall. It was built in 1825. Now, the Southernmost Point, this is one of those places you have to have your photo taken with. And if you saw our thumbnail, you've seen the photo. This was also part of the end of the line for the rail system that came down there.
From what I understand, we actually got in that line shorter than a lot of times. They said the line can be
Hours.
a couple hours, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have nearly that long of a wait. Now, at the very end of Duval Street is the Duval Street Pocket Park. And this is just a small little community park, but every one of these parks are really well utilized. A lot of people enjoying them. And as you look forward there, you're looking forward into Duval Street. Duval Street is kind of the main street of Key West. It's where all the shops, all the nightlife, all the famous places of Key West go straight up and down Duval Street. And you can tell most of those buildings have been around for a while. Maybe repurposed. Several of these bars have the dollar bills hanging all the way around them. There's the Strand Theater, which is now a Walgreens. Again, repurposed.
Yeah.
And this building is the Concha Hotel. It was built in 1926. It's the tallest structure in Key West and is known for its hauntings. Just up the street from that, on Duval Street, is the oldest schoolhouse. That was built in 1838 and was moved to this site in 1846 after a major hurricane. And very close to that, again on Duval Street, is the oldest house and gardens, going back to 1829 in Key West. Lots of places to enjoy. Margaritaville is there. The Hard Rock Cafe is there. But you can run into places like Irish Kevin's, which is a mainstay name in Key West, and Sloppy Joe's. Now, Sloppy Joe's is kind of known as the oldest bar in Key West, but there's a caveat to that. We went into Sloppy Joe's just to get a nice cool down for the afternoon.
And the music.
And the music.
Yeah.
Live music's in there like all the time and was really good. I had a Key West lemonade and we split a key lime pie.
You can't go there without doing that.
That's right. Now this is Captain Tony's, and it actually was the home of Sloppy Joe's for its first 4 years, so technically it's the oldest.
That's right.
This is the original key lime pie bakery. It started in 1856, and we'd had key lime pie once already, so we got a slice to compare it to. We took this back to the car to try after the rest of the day was over, and I would say they were just about alike.
Yeah.
I didn't notice a lot of difference. Its key lime pie down there is a little bit thicker, heavier.
Kind of like a custard.
Yeah. But really, really good.
Oh, rich.
Well, after we picked up that slice of key lime pie, we were back off to Mallory Square for the sunset celebration. And this is when hundreds, if not thousands, of people converge on Mallory Square.
This is so fun.
And you hear people cheering as the sun goes down, and then the ships that come across. It is a beautiful, beautiful area.
And you can go out on those.
Yeah, there are a lot of boat rentals, fishing rentals, all sorts of ways to enjoy more than just the land.
This is definitely a party place.
Now, as we were walking back towards our car in the end of the day, we came across the birthplace of Pan Am. So Kathy, what did you think of Key West?
I love it down here. Wow.
It's been the warmest weather we've had in a long time, and we're in the Keys right around Thanksgiving time is when this is being taped, so it was warm.
It was outstanding weather. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. So we want you to understand we're bringing you here at the end of our day, at not the end of the road as it's known, but the beginning of our next adventures, because it's onward and upward from here.
That's right.
So with that, we hope you've enjoyed the video tonight. If you have, leave us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do that and ring that notification bell. That way you'll know when every one of our videos come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.